What's going on, my LS crazed amigos? It's your boy Terry speaking from the garage shop once again. Here to offer you some more big bang for the buck product and info. Yeah. Well, as you can see, we're just about to the point where we're going to put the tank back in the Trailblazer because we've been working closely with Aeromotive to design the Phantom fuel pump drop-in for Trailblazer SS. And but that's another video for another time that's coming real soon. What we're going to talk about today is making hoses, making fuel lines to run, with a high pressure system and without. Whenever you do a custom build, because remember, I'm not using the fuel delivery system that came stock on this Trailblazer. I'm gonna need a little bit more volume when the gas pedal is pressed down that a stock system probably can't provide. I get a lot of questions about the fittings. I don't feel too secure about making my own hose because sometimes I see it when I'm tightening down. Every now and then when I tighten and I think I got it, I wiggle a little bit with a little bit of force and it comes right out. How do I stop that? We're gonna address all that. You know what we're gonna do? Tell you what. Let's start from the top. I'm gonna make a return line for this vehicle. So basically it's gonna come from the fuel regulator or either the rails and go all the way back to the tank. So your return line is usually gonna be the longest hose that you have. So I marked off by this where I'm gonna have to cut. Now to cut this, what I like to do is use the whiz wheel. This is my favorite tool in the whole, I just love the whiz wheel. Wrap some strong tape around it because what'll happen is when you cut it, you don't want the braids to like fray out where it'd be impossible, not impossible, but it'll be harder to put the collar of the fitting onto the hose. Got your whiz wheel, get your glasses. If you do it this way, you want to make sure you cut it as straight as possible. So I got it straight, and like I said, it's going to fray out just a little bit, but not that much where you can't just bend it back into shape. You see how the collar is, you see how this end of the fitting will protrude out that goes into the hose? Remember that, we're gonna get back to that. All right, so what you're gonna do is remove the collar and nutty secondary piece part. At this point, what I wanna do is I wanna remove this tape. See, I wrapped it around like maybe 4 times, but I just wanna remove this tape right. Get it off. So this is what we're left with. All right. So now, sometimes the collar will go on, like I said, what you gotta do is you gotta make sure that the braided strands fit inside this collar. So let's see if we get lucky. We got lucky. So let's twist it on, look like this. But before I install this, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you a little trick that I like to go with, because people say that you should put like a little marking right here, like a little Sharpie. But what I like to do is I like to put tape on the collar. When you start turning it in, and you start turning it, you could remove that Sharpie with maybe grease on your fingers, and the Sharpie will be removed. I like to get some tape, just like this. Wrap it around a couple of times right on the collar, just like this. This is a good measurement because you don't see any part of the braided hose through the top of the collar here. So once you start going in, if you start seeing it separate, then you may have to do some readjustment. If you have a bench vise, it makes the job so much easier. But if you don't, it still can be done with a couple of vice grips and some willingness. If you're gonna be doing this on a constant basis, like installing hoses, if this is your thing, you may wanna invest in some of these brackets right here to put in your vice grip, would have a magnet, and mine are from Earl, but you can get them from anywhere. And what it'll do, it will hold the fitting or either the collar with the hose. I prefer to have it hold the fitting because you're gonna use pressure, right? You wanna get this part into the hose. And if you have the hose like this, you can push it and you can watch to see if the collar is staying where it should. And you have a little bit more control. In my opinion, you have a little bit more control of what's going on with installing the fitting. What you wanna do, got a lube, got my little oil here, lube up the fitting a little bit, yeah. You wanna take this, and you want to make sure you'll feel once it gets in the hose. See? I felt the hose opening up for this. So get it in there, and we're gonna straighten this out. And you'll start twisting away. I like to put a little pressure on it, push it a little forward, and the more and more you turn, the tighter it's gonna get. That's a good thing. And at this point, I take my open end, installed. This is one indication that you got a proper install because the collar didn't back off. You can't see any of the braid between the collar and the tape. But I'll show you something else. Check this out. So let's remove the tape. Another way you can tell if you have a good install, which the way I like to do is, you remember how I showed you how the male end will protrude outside at the back end of the nut? If you see at the bottom, look at the base of the nut. You see how it's bowed out a little bit? To me, that's an indication that it's a proper install, because what's happening is that one piece that sticks out is in the nut and it gets a little tight. So if it bows out like that, to me, that's my telltale way of knowing that the install is tight and good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you guys if you're making custom lines, because like I said, whenever you do a custom build, you're gonna have to do custom lines, and that's just the way it is. And I'm having a good time. So right now I'm looking at the clock on the wall, or should I say ceiling. Time for me to head on off. And before I do, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you for all the love, the attention, and all the questions. Keep them coming, because I got some more surprises coming for you guys, and I want you guys to be involved. All right, now you know what to do. Tell a phone, tell a friend, because like I said, there's no me without you. Always, always subscribe. You know what? Let's do it right now. Let's hit that subscription button. Boom. And you know what you want to do? Right next to the subscription button is like a little bell. Ding, ding, ding. Hit that, because what that does is that notifies you whenever I put a video out. And I'm going to start putting them out more frequently, because we're coming to the home stretch of this Trailblazer SS project. I want you guys to be involved. I really do. All right? So, as always, much love to everyone out there. That's right, you too, yeah. All right, please, be easy, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Take care.